And although I'll be out of sight, dear.
Hello, NewMusicalTheatre.com. I'm Joe Iconis, and I'm here with my great friends and collaborators Jennifer Tepper and Jason SweetTooth Williams.
When you look to the night skies.
Why don't you tell the story about how we met?
Okay. I was a fresh-faced New York City, and I had contacted the Goodspeed Opera House because I was there as a child in a show, and I came to the city as an actor, and I was like, how do I get started? Who do I talk to? What do I do? And I called them and I said, hey, do you remember me? I was in a show there when I was 10. And they were like, yeah, of course we remember you. And I said, great, can I be in a show? And they're like, it doesn't work like that. But we are doing this pilot program where NYU students, grad students come and work on their thesis musicals. I agreed and I went, and Joe happened to be there at the same time, and I was randomly assigned to sing backups for the Black Suits opening number. I just sang the chorus with the guys and we rocked out. And after rehearsal, one day Joe came up to me and he was like, hey man, I really like your voice, you have a cool voice. You want to like sing later? And I was like, yeah, sure. So I met him like back at the rehearsal studio, and I sang like a snippet of a song, and then that was it. And then I didn't hear from him ever again until his school called and asked if I would perform in his graduate musical theater thesis, and I was cast in that, and then became friends that way.
Yeah.
Happily ever after.
Happily ever after.
The story of how I met both these suckers is that I was obsessed with them. I loved their work, and I really wanted to work with them at some point, so I asked if I could help with the Things to Ruin run at second stage, and I did, and that's how we became good friends. But the story I was remembering the other day is that before this, when we had met but didn't really know each other yet, I was walking down 50th Street, kind of near like Blockheads area, and I saw Joe, and I was gonna say hi, and then I realized I was wearing a Chorus Line sweatshirt and got embarrassed and didn't say hi. So that's like something that actually happened. And then now when I walk down that block, I'm like, and now we're best friends and collaborators.
Yeah. And I would have loved that you were wearing a Chorus Line.
Now I know
sweatshirt.
that. I didn't know it then.
This is besides the point, but I bought a Cats t-shirt
Oh, no.
like 2 weeks ago. And I was so excited about it because it's like a cool t-shirt because it says Cats. And then I went to wear it for the first time and I realized that it has like the two eyes on the back.
Yeah.
I was like so disappointed because I was like, oh, this isn't cool anymore. The first time we ever did a concert or anything like that together was Things to Ruin.
Yeah, and the first one was at Ars Nova, if that's correct. And it was packed. I remember like there were like a ton of people there. And I felt like such a rock star because I'd never done anything like that. And, you know, the music in Things to Ruin is rock star, esque.
Oh my god, there's so many.
Yeah.
We had this one jamboree at the Laurie Beachman where we were all perplexed that John Stamos was there and that like he was like playing with a kazoo and like Uncle Jesse is in the audience for the Joe Iconis and Family concert. And it turned out he was there because he was actually with a bunch of the powers that be from Smash who were there to check out your music. And that kind of like helped in the whole like Broadway Here I Come and Goodbye song. I think that's one of the craziest things was like John Stamos inexplicably being there that actually turned out to be a crazy like career moment, but not because of John Stamos.
No, he was just a strange like side effect, and he also left before the show was over, which is like fine. Like it's not not been a dream of mine to have John Stamos see my whole show, but it was like cool that he was there for a few numbers.
We were about to do a rock and roll, Joe Iconis rock and roll jamboree show. And that day, our drummer, I won't say his name, but his name's Brent Stranathan.
Oh my god.
Our drummer called and he was like, I'm really sick, you guys, I can't come in. I have this horrible stomach bug. And we were like, man, you have to come. You're the drummer, we need you, we can't do the show without you. And he came in spite of his illness, and I think on stage at Joe's Pub, he both vomited and got sick in his pants. Sorry, Brent, but
it was a lot.
It was a lot to deal with. I always loved singing the Goodbye song. I think that's like a really seminal work for you, and therefore it's sort of become seminal for me as well. I think I get identified with that song in a cool way, and every time I do it, it's different, and it feels different, and I'm going through something different in my life, and the audience always is going through something different themselves. So it just always feels important, and it always feels fresh, and people always get moved by it. I mean, there are moments in shows that we had done multiple performances of that always were cool and exciting. I think in Blood Song of Love at Ars Nova, there were like multiple moments that every time we got to them, I was like, oh my god, I can't believe I get to do this again tonight. The opening being one, I just felt like so, it just felt so cool and important, and like, the way the show began was with like sound effects, like the sort of soundscape of the West, and there was like smoke, and like I came out sort of, to the badass guitar.
We do have a joke that, I'm not a performer, but that at some point we'll be out of town with a show and we'll be like at some piano bar in the middle of nowhere at like 3 a.m. and I will do the like meanest rendition of Blue Hair you have ever heard.
I don't know, concerts, I feel like, anytime there's a cool reaction from the crowd, I feel like that's always just like unbeatable.
I feel like whenever we've done something that feels really impossible, it ends up being the best experience ever. One of my favorite things is like when you get to hear a song that your friend or collaborator has written, and it's like a demo, and you can tell it's an amazing song, and you like love it, and then you get to actually be there 6 months or a year later when it gets performed in front of people for the first time. That kind of always blows me away.
This summer in the show that I did, Be More Chill, there's a song called Michael in the Bathroom that I had written a couple years ago, and I always I thought it was a good song, but in context it really like had an effect on people, and like I don't like to say if it's like bad or good or whatever, but like the audience is like always like had a very vocal palpable reaction to the song, and so it was always like really fun to see moments for me, like songs that I've written or moments that I've written that when I'm writing them I feel like, oh, this isn't going to be like a showstopper, like this isn't going to be anything special, and then if it's done in front of people and people like decide that it's special for whatever reason, that's always a cool, exciting thing.
Why do we like each other? Because I feel like we haven't talked about that.
You're both really passionate, and you're and you care as like both like people and as artists, and that's like something that is just really important to me, especially in this business where I always call these people like eye rollers, like the people who are just like so over it, that everything is like oh my god, like this audition, or like I have to do this concert, and you guys are like so not that. I like people who are excited about what they're doing, be it like musical theater or or banking or being in the circus, like whatever. And yeah, you're just like cool people. You're not jerks. There's so many jerks, and you guys aren't jerks.
There's never a moment, be it in a song or as part of a production or show that you've produced or are working on, that isn't extremely important. It's every single detail is a big deal, be it a word or a harmony or something, or something that no one will ever see on the stage. And so I just feel like it makes me feel like, therefore everything I'm doing is important, and so it adds an attention to detail to my work that I think it's great. I think it just elevates the entire experience. Also, I just like hanging out with you guys too. I don't think being good friends necessarily makes for good collaborators, and vice versa. I think we, the three of us, are like extremely lucky, #blessed, that we we are great collaborators, and we also can like not be working on a piece of art and still just have a great time.
Both you as a writer and you as an actor, like you understand how complicated the world is, and that musical theater and like performances and writing can be that complicated too. And so when you're writing like a new song for Jason, you're aware of that character and all of their complications, and that performer and the fact that they are very complicated in terms of like not just being an ingenue or not just being like
right.
this or that or whatever it is, and that reflects life in a way that I really respond to.
Yeah, I really hate like types. Like I hate like the sort of musical theater typing where it's like, oh, this is like the funny guy, and this is the fat best friend, and this is like the slutty blonde girl. If I like respond to an actor that I see that I don't know, like I when I want to like work with them, I also want to like know them.
Right.
Because I feel like you actually have to like know someone a little bit in order for them not to just be like a type,
I suddenly feel like we're on the TV show in Merrily.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.